Hi, my Intro to Counseling class student. I'm glad to able to see you in this way, even in a very unfortunate situation. I know we just got an announcement, right? For the next 2 weeks, we won't able to meet in the class. Okay. So original, I thought I'm just going to give you PowerPoint and you just read it. Well, I just figure out how to do the YouTube. So I thought maybe we can do this way. Okay, see if they're working. Okay, so by this way, hopefully, when you have the class, okay, you feel more real. The only drawback is I won't able to see you. I miss your smiling. So hopefully, when you watch this video, hopefully you still able to, smile. Okay, and then actually what we do is so each time I will recall a lecture. Okay, and then when you finish lecture, then we have a section called discussion. I want you to go there, just write down what is the part from this lecture actually touch your heart and you have feeling about it, and it's required. Okay, you have to go there and respond, so then I know you are in the class, and then I can count as your attendance. Okay, and also don't forget you also have a quiz. Make sure you watch the due date, and also they have a 3 assignment. Actually, I totally out of my mind, so I didn't even put the Moodle, and I just realized they have remember 2 letters. One is for the 2 labels. You can pick the 2 psychologists and see how their theory apply to your life. Okay, so actually they are due earlier than I assigned right now. So I thought, okay, actually that may be the perfect also the homework for you these 2 weeks. So make sure you go back to the Moodle and watch the due date. The due is before we meet. Okay, so just make sure you do the assignment. Okay, pick 2 psychologists. You can pick the one we just talked about, or you can pick the one we talk. Remember we talk about Freud, and we talk about Eller, and we talk about Carl Rogers, right? And now we talk about Frankl. Okay, so you can pick them, or if you want to do later, you can pick somebody else. Okay, and then the last assignment is write a letter to me. Okay, that one actually, it's only the other 2 is that 2 pages, so it's 600 words. Okay, to me it's 300 words, but if you want to write more for me, I'll be glad. Originally I want to change to 600 words, but I thought, well, I'll just let you do 300 words. Okay, so I thought I cannot ask you any question because I don't even able to hear from you for this moment, right? So hold on your questions, and then whenever we are talk about it, just keep in mind, write down. Okay, and then go back to the discussion and write down your response. Okay, your response in at least 300 words. Okay, to count your attendance in the class. Okay, sounds a good deal. And since I won't able to hear from you in this way, so then from your discussion, I can hear you. Okay, and that'll be due the day of our lecture. So this one actually you are going to see hopefully tomorrow. Okay, it's 12, right? And hopefully you finish by tomorrow night. How about that? Okay. Okay, so are you ready for let me drink water. Okay, and this is my basement. Hopefully you like my basement. Okay, now I put the computer here. I know you may not really able to read exactly, but you have your PowerPoint, so you can use your PowerPoint. I just think this is the way, so I don't just talk to you. I can also refer to you. Where are we? Okay. So it's Frankl, and Okay, so this lecture I won't do longer than 1 hour. Okay, so I won't take you, longer than we supposed to in the class. Okay, so remember Frankl. Okay, so if you can think about Frankl, and we talk about, Frankl is, remember he was born in Vietnam, right? And so his birthplace, remember, is cross street from Adler, right? And then two people he associated with who? Who? Freud and Adler, right? So we talk about, so I kind of just refresh because some of you not here in the class that day, okay? And then you maybe not remember, but so just fresh. He like to think, okay? So this is also interesting. We talk about this, and now we call rabbits, and then that caused the whole world, afraid and then scared. And so what's the meaning for this, right? What's meaning for this? This even limit us to go to school to have a face-to-face class. What's this meaning? So if Frankl still alive now, I think he's going to think about what's the meaning of this, right? And so we call him thinker, right? And then we also talk about he really likes, since he likes to think, he mainly think about the meaning of life. He's think about the human being. So we know he likes psychology, right? And so in that time, Freud is we say it's about 60 some years old, right? So then for him, that's somebody he can look up. So he started to write a letter to Freud, okay? And then of course Freud always responds back to him, and I think they have very good communication there. Okay, so then he in high school actually, so in the reason he really like the way he liked the psychology, you can tell. We say in junior high school, in the daytime he's high school, junior high school, middle school student, but the nighttime he went to the night school to learn psychology. Okay, that shows how much he interested about psychology. And then he write Freud later to Freud, and Freud actually always responds back to him. It's touched his heart. So then when he in high school, one time he's I don't know, sit beside the ocean, and then he have very good touch about something. So he write a article and send to Freud. Original, he just want to Freud just take a look at, but Freud actually very appreciate his writing and his thinking. So actually, even he just age 16, the article he wrote already published in Freud journal. Okay, so you can see Freud really like him, right? Okay, so when he went to let me see. So actually, when he in the medical school, actually he finally meet Freud, and then when Freud see him, Freud say, "Oh, I know you, Frankl." And then Freud even say exactly what's Frankl's address. It make Frankl is very happy. Freud is very have impressed on him. Okay, but he didn't stay with Freud idea too long. Pretty soon, actually, he gets chance to find what Adler the idea. Okay, and I think we already talk about Adler, and Adler is talk about we are not a victim of the past, right? We have freedom of choice, right? And then everybody have the future goal, right? So he liked this idea, particular here. People should have freedom of choice when making decision. What do you think? Right? Do you think so? People should make freedom of choice no, people should have freedom of choice when making decision, right? So this idea, just like right now, okay, we cannot go to school for the class, and we can decide just stay at home, be lazy, or I can just put PowerPoint there. But then I decide I maybe should have lecture like this, so then we can still have communication, right? So that's our freedom. That's our freedom choice, right? And so actually, because that, so in 1925, okay, he write an article and actually published in Eller's journal, Individual Psychology Journal, okay? And then 1926, Eller really like him, and then they have a feel good connection with each other. So then actually his article, he joined Eller. Okay, so this has review, we talked about it before, right? And then mainly here, the reason he's interested about Eller's theory here, based on freedom of choice, Frankl started to develop his own theory, right? And what's the name? Logotherapy, right? Logotherapy. Logotherapy. And what's that mean? That mean meaning therapy. Okay, and he feel the reason he started to emphasize this, he feel, a lot of time people can answer when we, especially when we helping other people, we maybe can helping answer a lot of questions like where did you find house, where did you find this service, that service, right? But a lot of time it's hard for us to tell people what's the meaning of the life, right? And when people especially have a mental issue, they are hungry for the meaning. Okay, so that's it. That's why actually he become famous, because he emphasizes meaning therapy. Okay. Now, and you can see when he's still age 21, he start to even just medical student, he start to give the speech. Okay, because I think he's a good speaker, and people really love to hear what he say. So he have a 2 speech when he's still a medical student. Okay, like in your PowerPoint you can see that. Okay, and unfortunately, even Eller very like him, but then something happened between them, right? Everybody still remember? You still remember, right? We say that when he worked as a lab in the lab, he meet these Raven Ehlers and what was Switzer, right? And these 2 people actually they also used to follow Eller, but they decide to withdraw from Eller's association. Okay, and of course Eller is not happy. So when they announced for withdrawing, Eller sit there and kind of like very angry, right? And so he kind of stand up, say, "So what's up, hero?" Right? And Frankl sit beside him, decide, well, maybe Eller want me to say something. So he stand up and say some words, okay? And then of course he tell Eller, I like your theory, but then he give him some suggestion about how his theory can do something to make them more different than other theory, okay? And then the same time he also addressed to these 2 people, say, my teacher. Oh my gosh, because this Eller still start to feel you are not show your loyalty in this critical moment. How can you call them teacher? I'm actually your teacher, not them, right? So after that, actually Eller didn't want to talk to him anymore, and even often give him a hint, say he should go. Okay, so actually I think Frankl have no choice and have to withdraw from association. And good thing is Eller's daughter, as well as some other colleague that Frankl meet in that association, still want to be his friend. Okay, so Frankl left Eller, and now he become his own individual agent, right? And then he have his own association, and it's interesting. In his association, he invite Freud to serve on the advisory board, right? So looks like he didn't hurt Freud's feeling. So it sounds good idea there. Okay. And then Frankl, now he got a chance. He has his own association, so he 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 can get a chance to teach people more, right? And then his theory, remember, it's called logotherapy, and then also known as extensional analysis. Okay. And then we talk about, in that time, actually, he's still in medical school, but he already, have his own association. Now, in 1930, he established youth counseling centers. Okay. The reason he established that because during that time, for some reason, the high schooler there often commit suicide, especially when school give the school the school report card. Okay, I believe maybe they are very emphasize the schoolwork. Okay, like a lot of us, and so a lot of high school, when they get the score report, they don't find they do the good job. They have a tendency to commit suicide. Well, Frankl did a very good contribution because that's what he want to emphasize in his counseling center. Then actually when he worked with the youth, of course teach them and help them to find the meaning of life, right? So if you know the meaning of life, high school just one stage of your life. Even you may not do perfect in your school. So what? You still a long future, right? Why you need to commit suicide? And if you think about the long term, if you have a goal, you keep working, then you still long life, right? And I think he did a good job. So actually here say no student suicide during the time he worked. Okay, wow, people very impressed about this young person. How can he do that, right? Okay, so then he got invited to teach people a lot of things about his logotherapy because people are so impressed. How can you make the high school less likely to commit suicide when there is the serious issue during that time, right? Okay, so we say his theory is very unique, right? So people call his theory is the third school of psychotherapy of Vienna. Okay, now, everybody still remember this, right? We talk about in the class, three will. Okay, what Freud emphasized, what Adler emphasized, and what Frankl emphasized, right? The Freud emphasized will to pleasure. Okay, everybody still remember Freud talk about what? The it, right? So it is mean, so actually for this online class, I think maybe you may be like me. Only the one thing I can think about make me happy is I don't have to wake up early. How about you? So that's kind of like something we all like, wow, that's happy, right? Oh, of course, something else, then more trouble, right? But anyway, so that's Freud said. We all have that tendency, desire to be happy, right? And then Adler talk about will to power, striving for superiority, right? So everybody should remember Adler say, well, even I'm not too good when I was young, but I'll be fine, I'll be good. So from inferiority become what? Superiority. Everybody still remember, right? And then Frankl is talk about wielding two meaning, right? So this is three school, okay? Then after he graduated from medical school, okay, in 1930, okay, So he worked for psychiatry department, okay, with the University affiliated hospital, right? And then he meet the supervisor and he learned how to work with the brain, okay? So, well, sounds like pretty good for him so far, right? Well, and we know what happened, right? Hitler start to destroy Vietnam, right? And we know from our record, actually, Freud in that time already people persuade him left the country and then sold to Adler, right? So that's 1937, right? And well, what do you do, right? It's something coming. How do you face the new life, okay? And actually, we talk about one thing happened when that time he started to realize that something very bad is he substitute teach for his colleague in the classroom, okay? And when he, during his teach, Hitler soldier opened the door, okay? And of course, they don't want him to teach because he's Jewish, right? Well, Frankl say, well, I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach very good, so then the soldier won't remember why he's there. And it's success. So actually, he can finish the whole teaching, but he know after that, he know the life won't be easy. Okay. Then what happened? He won't allow to do his practice. Okay, because again he's Jewish. Okay, and a lot of people commit suicide, especially Jewish. So then, he work in the hospital, hopefully save more life. Okay, then because this they really need him. Okay, so they say if you work here in this hospital, well, we will not arrest you. You will not go to the concentration camp. Okay, so, and remember we talked about this in the class, right? So during this time, well, he got something called good news. United States give him a visa. Okay, they say, well, do you want to come to America? We give you the visa. Okay, so how about you, right? During that time, and I know that there are a lot of our classmates say, well, if I were him, I'll go to America, right? Freedom, right? Now, because he is very close to his parents, okay, so the visa only for him. So actually, he is a lot of struggle. If the visa for the whole family, I believe he may decide to come, okay, but it's only for him. So how can he decide? Okay, well, when one day he back home, okay, he see his father get a plate, okay, it's burned down a piece of burned down this burned down marble written in Hebrew, okay, and he asked it's written in Hebrew and he's not very good with Hebrew, so he asked his father, say, what do they say? They say, honor the father and the mother, and that they may be long upon the land. So that is mean you have to love your father, not mother. That's one of the 10 Commandments, right? So when he heard this sign, he know, well, he should stay. Okay, and then he meet Tilly, right? Tilly, that's the wife, right? And they are the last couple, Jewish couple, allowed to get married. But one condition is, sorry, computer some trouble. Just give me a second. Okay. But they're not allowed to have kids. Okay, they are last couple allowed to get married, but they're not allowed to have kids. So when Tilly get pregnant, they have to have abortion to their child, and he dedicated this to the book he wrote, and her cry for meaning, and that book he dedicated for this unborn child. So you can see his heart is broken. Okay. Then not only that, in 1942, okay, his whole family were arrested, and they send them to the concentration camp. Okay, only his sister run away, so she's free. But the rest of them, the father, the mother, and then Frankl and his new wife, they all into the concentration camp. Okay, and here we say his father actually very have good trust to the God. So even when on the way they to the concentration camp, see that's how they face. He said, show in trust in God, and he say, be cheer, be of good cheer, for God is near. Okay, of course, when they're in the concentration camp, everything is turned upside down, right? The father actually passed away pretty soon, and the mother, right? The mother also was sent to the gas chamber, okay, soon after that, okay. And then also Frankl, before he get in, he wrote a book called The Doctor and Soul. He thought he maybe have chance to write it, so he saw that manuscript in his jacket. But then when he get in, actually they took away, and he is very sad. He feel his another child was killed. Okay, remember the one he had the abortion, and now there's another child. Well, if you were him, what do you think? The life is full of trauma, right? Now, then when now the father and mother all died, then when they have to send the wife original actually assigned her a job in the concentration camp as a nurse. If she work for that, she won't take a more severe concentration camp. Okay, but then she want to stay with Frankl. Well, so then they both sent to another concentration camp. And before, but the male and female, they cannot be together. Okay, so they have to separate them. And before they separate, Frankl tell Tilly, stay alive at any price. Do you hear me? Okay, so they separate, right? And then we start to talk about, how hard to live in concentration camp, right? They took away all their hairs, no clothes, right? A lot of time, no food, right? Well, but Frankl he keep himself alive, right? Because he know he want to survive. He need to survive. So the book they took away, he can write back, right? And we also say in this example, couple times for some reason he survived, right? One time they have a churro, like they all, walk. One was actually he didn't know he's in left side, and he said, this road, I don't see anybody I know. So he switched to the right side, and he survived because left side, this road get to the gas chamber, and this road actually survived, right? So he survived. Another time they pick 100 people, they send to the truck, okay? They will drive them away, okay? For some reason, he's a number 100. So before he get into the truck, the guard take him out, kick him out, and then pull another guy in, and he survived again. And then later, one time he almost died, and he need to know if he want to he know if he fall asleep he's going to die. Okay, so then fortunately he a little bit pencil, small pencil, and some scratch paper. So when he is very hopeless time moment, very sick, he keep writing the soul and the doctor put his think he's still alive, and that's how he survived. Okay, so writing that book, that's the meaning, give him the meaning of surviving, right? So then he survived, but we know when he finally get freedom, he went out in 1945, he realized his wife already passed away. Well, it's very sad, right? If that were you, what are you thinking, right? It's very hard. So now, but he said, I must be designated for something important I have to do. If somebody survive, somebody suffer like this, must be something important that God want me to fulfill. Okay, so here last time we have this formula. I think everybody must be remember this one. Right? We talked about this last time before the end of class, right? Despair equal suffering minus meaning. Despair equal suffering minus meaning. What's that words? What's that mean? Right? So if you suffering, here say, the willing to meaning has survival value. The willing to meaning has survival value. So that means if you are suffering, but then you plus meaning, you're more likely to survive. But if you are suffering and then you minus, you're meaningless, then you tend to feel despair. Okay, so this also very good lesson for our situation right now, right? It's, people, the whole world, there are a lot of people suffering from this virus. Okay, what's the meaning there? Okay, so this actually is a concept called existential frustration. Okay, so that means if people suffering and they feel no meaning, actually they will feel so frustration. They'll say, why, right? Okay, so now if that is the point, then what's the essence of existence? Okay, why we are exist in this world? Why we are exist in this world, right? So here, his encouragement to us here, live as if you are living already for the second time, and as if you have acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now. Right? What do you think about this? Live as if you were living already for the second time, and as if, let me put it here more close so you can see the words here, right? Think about these words. So live as if you were living already for the second time, and as if you have acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now. Well, do we have second chance our life? A lot of time we wish we have chance for second chance, right? So don't wait for second chance. Every time, according to this, every time when you are living, just think about that is your second chance. That's your second chance, right? So think about maybe you already do wrong once. Now it's your second chance. So then you're more careful because that's your second chance. So I think that's a good encouragement from Frankl. What do you think? Right? And also here talk about logotherapy. Let me put it here so you can see the words. Logotherapy try to make the client fully aware of his own irresponsibleness. Therefore, it must leave to him the option for what, or to whom he understands himself to be responsible. Man is responsible and must actualize the potential meaning of his life. Right? So a lot of time we feel like somebody should take responsibility for our life. And if something goes wrong, we say, well, what's going on, somebody? Okay? So Frankl here say we have to be responsible for find our own meaning. Okay? Only you know what's that mean to you. Okay? Nobody able to give you answer by yourself. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, hopefully it makes sense, right? Okay. Okay, so now, so that's the big word, right? Big major point, right? The will to meaning, right? And actually, in here, I really like this part. Okay, this part say, he knows the way and he knows the why for the existence and will be able to bear almost any how. Okay, can you see the words here? Let me closer. Okay, because they say there's nothing in the world that would so effective help one to survive even the worst condition as the knowledge that there is a meaning of life. Okay, and if you know why, you will more likely bear almost anyhow. Okay, I really, for this part, this slide actually, I really like this sentence. Okay, so a lot of time, the reason people commit suicide, right? The people commit suicide, people feel hopeless in their life because they don't really know why. They don't know why they exist, why they have this trouble, right? But if you know why, if you know the meaning behind any trouble, any suffering, then you were able to have the energy, be patient to go through anyhow. And then actually, well, people will know how to handle it because they know what do they want after this, right? So actually, I really like this, the point like this. Okay, so now, how do we search the meaning of the life? What's that mean? What's that actually mean, right? Okay, so actually he believed in our life. We have two kinds of life here. We have active life and we have a passive life. And you can enjoy either. You can enjoy both. What do we say? So active life is mean you serve the purpose of giving man the opportunity to realize value in creating work. So for example, right now, I'm in my active life. I'm creating this video for you, right? So I'm doing the lecture. So I'm in my active part. And you, another hand, you can sit there if you open this video and you can listen the lecture and you enjoy. Okay, hopefully you enjoy. Are you enjoying so far? Hopefully you enjoy. I really hope this is the class. I can hear you. I can see you smiling. Well, hopefully you enjoy. So for example, you go to see the concert and you watch football and you watch all the games, right? They work so hard to do the sport and you are there to cheer, right? Enjoy. They work so hard for you to enjoy. So that is part of our life. Sometimes we create it, right? We create something, and sometimes if we don't have chance to create, then at least you enjoy. So that's it. Two parts, and you can find the meaning. You can find the meaning from active, and you can also find the meaning from passive, right? Okay. So according to logotherapy, we can discover this meaning in life in 3 different ways. by creating, by experiencing, and by the attitude we take toward unavoidable suffering. Okay, so three part. Okay, you create something, or if you're positive, you experience something. Okay, and then you change your attitude even you are suffering, right? Okay, that's so we go back to those three parts. Okay, so creative life, creative value, right? So we give something, we create. I know in our classes, I remember a lot of you tell me you are dancer, you are singer, you like the music, right? And we also have students play sport, and we have students like to write, right? And we have so many different talents, and just use your talent to create, and that is the meaning of your life, right? That's important, right? Okay, and you don't just create. Actually, you also need to experience that, right? So we can through experience, right, to enjoy the life, right? So when you see the sunrise, sunset, see how God create beautiful life. That's how you enjoy, right? You experience. And when you see the football, when you see the game, you are excited, right? That's experience. Or you are play game, you are play football player yourself, right? Or you are dancing yourself, or I'm doing the lecture right now, right? When we are experience that, then we find the meaning, right? We are happy, we enjoy. That's part of meaning, right? And we have to learn to enjoy. That's very important, right? Not everybody have the same talent, and whatever you have, make sure you enjoy it, right? Okay. And so also when you enjoy here, they have words say self-transcendence of human experience there. Do you see the words there? Transcendence. Okay, that word's there. Self-transcendence here. Okay, of human existence. Okay, what's that mean? That means sometimes you can go beyond. You can go beyond. Even you are suffering. If you go beyond your current situation, you think about, like for him, they in the when they are so suffering, actually they say, let's talk about our wife. So when they both all talk about their wife, they feel they are beyond that situation, and actually they enjoy so much. Also, when he's so suffering, he think about himself is give the speech to the world about concentration camp, and then make him feel like he forget his suffering. So that's called self-transcendence. Okay, and he believe we have this ability. Okay, so actually it's important to have the power. Okay, let's see this sentence here. Only to the extent that someone